will talk about LinkedIn profile optimization. Usually they're not even optimizing their profile for the right person. We have to go back to the basics and say, if you could only get one thing from LinkedIn, what would it be? Who do we need to attract to your profile to move the needle on that thing? Where do we need to lead those people to off of the platform? Because you should be building your list. How are we going to get their attention? Why is your free offer better? If you want to discover why our free offer is better, go to YouGrow.club. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shanee Moret. I have almost 1 million followers on LinkedIn and more than 365,000 LinkedIn newsletter subscribers. What I'm going to cover today are the biggest things that I think entrepreneurs should have in place before they even consider a LinkedIn strategy or begin their LinkedIn strategy. Because you can't optimize a profile if you don't know exactly what goal you're optimizing it for and who you need to attract for that goal to come to fruition. The first thing that an entrepreneur approaching LinkedIn marketing should ask themselves is, what is my one goal on LinkedIn? Imagine yourself 12 months from now. If everything went right on LinkedIn, what is the one thing that would come of it? And there is no right or wrong answer. It just depends on where you are in your business. There are some clients that I have that are coaches. Their goal could be, I want high ticket paying clients. It could be that they've launched a group program and they want to fill their group program. It could be that they're sitting on the board of a business that they used to lead and they just want to grow a platform of 100,000 followers because they're going to write a book and they want to have a lot of people buy the book. It could just be that they have a paid newsletter and they want to get as many subscribers to their paid newsletter as possible because they want that monthly recurring income. So the point is that there is no right or wrong answer. But where I see a lot of entrepreneurs go astray when it comes to approaching LinkedIn is that they want all of the things instead of hyper focusing on one thing. Now, this doesn't mean that, let's say your goal is clients, that you're not going to get speaking opportunities, podcasting opportunities, collaboration opportunities, partnership opportunities out of it. But what it does mean is that the strategy is optimized for that particular goal. Once you have the one goal figured out, you're going to ask yourself, who do I need to attract to fulfill this goal with the least amount of resistance? This is very important because who we would need to attract if you want to get high ticket one-on-one paying clients may be a different person than who we would need to attract if you want to fill a group coaching program. They're not necessarily the same person, the same buyer. Would be very different than who we may need to attract to fill up your paid newsletter subscribers or to just grow a general audience that likes personal development so that you could sell a ton of books in a year. This is very critical because it will determine how your profile is optimized and what type of content we start creating for your profile. Where do they need to go? This is the third point. Where do you need to lead them? A lot of people mess up on this. Let's say my number one goal is to get more listens on my podcast. Where should I lead people? I literally have consulted with people that this is their number one goal starting off. And then on their LinkedIn profile, they're leading people to a consultation form. Where you lead them needs to align with the first 2 points. If your number one goal is to increase podcast listening, you should lead them to your podcast. If your number one goal is to get high ticket one-on-one clients, you should probably lead them to a consultation or maybe to a webinar that then goes to a consultation. If your goal is to fill a group coaching program, maybe you're leading them to a webinar or an on-demand webinar on a landing page. Wherever it is that you're leading them to, it has to align with the second and the first point. Ask yourself, where am I going to lead them to? And does it align with the number one thing? And a lot of people make this mistake. You're telling people to download an ebook, go to a webinar, DM you for a consultation. They don't really know what to do if you give them too many options. So you should have one call to action on your LinkedIn profile. That call to action needs to drive the needle for your one goal. Everything else doesn't matter. How are you going to get them there? So this is the 4th out of 5 points. How are you going to get them there? Usually this is going to happen by people getting onto your profile. How are you going to get people onto your profile? Content. It is imperative to understand that LinkedIn has limits to the number of connection requests you can send out, even if you're a premium member. If I send out 100 connection requests a week, I'm limited to growing 400 in a month. But if I create content, I could grow 4,000 in a day. It doesn't matter because they're inviting me to connect. The leverage point here is content. Content is how you're going to get a lot of people to your profile, and that profile is going to lead them to that right place. It's going to speak to the right person, and it's going to drive your number one goal. The process here, if I were you, and this is where you have great leverage and advantage when creating on LinkedIn, is that there's probably not a lot of people in your particular niche that have dominated the LinkedIn market, so to speak. So I would look for them. Look at the top people in your niche that are creating content on LinkedIn. What are they posting? How often are they posting? And how can you leverage your strengths to differentiate against them? Let's say that they're posting a lot of text only content. You just so happen to be a bad writer, but you love to speak and you're good on video. You could start to find your blue ocean through video on LinkedIn, which I highly recommend. In fact, I don't work with any clients unless they're willing to do video. How are you going to differentiate? Look at the baseline. Audit what other people in your niche are creating. Do it better, do it different, do it through different mediums, and do it more consistently. If I were to audit fitness influencers on LinkedIn, let's say on average they're posting 3 times a week and they post 1 video a week. I would do 5 times a week. 3 of those would be video. And I would be saying different things that is more personalized to my beliefs and my clientele. And then why? Why are you doing this? And why is your offer better? This is a missing link that I see with a lot of personal brands on LinkedIn, especially with coaches, is that they may be preaching that they love a thing, that they're dedicating their life to this one particular thing, but why? The reason why I teach LinkedIn is that it absolutely changed my life. I have evidence of that. Over the 4 years, my life is nothing like it was 4 years ago. And I've seen it not just change my life, but so many other clients' lives. I think that it's the lowest point of entry to reach the highest quality people on earth for any business owner, because only 1% of people on this platform even create content. How many of those actually do it well on video and once in a while live video or live audio? 0.0001% probably. And you're reaching the decision maker directly, and the users on this platform have double the buying power. There's just so much. That's my story. That's why I do this. But why do you do what you do? Why are you so passionate about it? How did you get into it? Why did you stay with it? This is a missing piece that a lot of people miss, and they focus on the wrong parts of the story, their origin story. The other thing is, why should I go to your consultation? Why should I sign up for your webinar? Because at the end of the day, it's still my time. Even if your first call to action is free, your newsletter, your ebook, whatever it is, why should I opt in? Why is yours better than the 5 other ones in your space that I have already opted in for? Does this make sense? I love it. If any of this resonates with you, go to yougrow.club. We have a 4-day free LinkedIn challenge for you to learn all of these things. The first day, you're going to define everything that we covered today. What is your one goal on LinkedIn? Who do we need to attract for you to fulfill that goal with the least resistance? Where are you going to lead them to that is aligned with your goal? How are you going to differentiate in your content and get their attention? Why are you better? Why is your free offer better? So that's day 1 of the challenge. Day 2, launching and growing your LinkedIn newsletters. Day 3 is content strategy. Day 4 is live video and audio strategy. If you want to discover why our free offer is better, go to yougrow.club. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.